It was a tropical night in Havana, Cuba, perfectly peaceful, except for the piercing sound that shattered the quiet. Within minutes, his ears screamed in pain, his world spun in nauseating dizziness. Between 2016 and 2017, the U.S. Embassy in Havana was ground zero for what would eventually be called Havana Syndrome. American and Canadian diplomats stationed in Cuba began reporting a chilling variety of symptoms: intense ear pain, vertigo, blinding headaches, and waves of nausea that no treatment could suppress. Over time, the victims developed cognitive issues like blurred memory and difficulty concentrating. But this wasn't the only strange part of the story. The diplomats described hearing strange, invasive sounds right before the onset of their symptoms, like high-pitched buzzing, clicking, or grinding. Meanwhile, reporting on Havana Syndrome soon spread beyond Cuba. At the time, the phenomenon was still poorly understood. Similar cases began surfacing in the diplomatic corps stationed in Russia, China, Austria, and even parts of the United States. The eerie consistency of symptoms across different locations made investigators skeptical of coincidence. Something seemed to connect it all. In 2018, after American diplomats in Guangzhou, China reported nearly identical experiences. The United States State Department officially ramped up investigations. Soon after, the CIA entered the fold. With Havana Syndrome spreading, it wasn't just an outbreak of symptoms, it was becoming an international crisis. Theories became the foundation of the investigation, but each brought its own set of contradictions. Among the most discussed was advanced weaponry, specifically directed microwave radiation. High-powered microwaves, it was theorized, could disrupt neural signals, causing dizziness, nausea, and cognitive fog. The technology, although advanced, was not entirely speculative. The US and Soviets toyed with microwave weapons during the Cold War. Acoustic technology was another possibility. Sonic weapons focusing sound bursts to cause pain and injury. And so entered the skeptics. Could stress and paranoia in high-stakes diplomatic settings trigger widespread psychosomatic illness, a mass delusion amplified by shared fear? But victims vehemently disagreed, pointing to tangible brain injuries. For them, this wasn't hysteria, it was a targeted attack. The CIA's classified investigations added more complexity. The lack of transparency fueled speculation. Was nothing found, or was the truth too sensitive to reveal? This secrecy echoed Cold War paranoia, where tales of microwave surveillance, once dismissed, proved real. Were old techniques being reborn? Today, anomalous health incidents are officially recognized, yet treatment remains debated, and the syndrome's true origins elusive. Was it advanced weaponry, environmental factors, or a complex interplay of psychology and stress? The sounds of Havana continue to echo. Could invisible forces target our senses, or are we hearing the echoes of global paranoia? The mystery of Havana Syndrome endures.